Welcome, everybody, to Gearwire Crosstalk show or program, episode number 30, baby. That's big 3-0. On my right is Mr. Dan Augusto.
Yo.
What's up, buddy? What's going on? I like your get up today.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Sharp.
How did you describe it earlier?
Was it?
Turn of the century
Turn
private
of the century
investigator.
private investigator. Kind of trying to get that.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of easing into it.
I like it.
Eventually, I'll be here wearing the whole trench coat, have the pipe. That sort of thing.
I thought you guys do that anyway when I'm not here.
No, dude.
I think it's more of the professor kind of look myself,
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
could
Sweater.
put some like leather
Patches. You need some patches.
Right.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Tweed patches on a leather jacket.
And on my left here is Mr. Drew Craig. What's going on,
Hello,
buddy?
hello. I feel kind of old, man.
Yeah?
Podcast number 30.
I know. That's big time.
Ready to settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to settle down, get married, have kids and all that. Just kidding.
Just kidding, all you
Sorry, ladies.
3 or 4 female Gearwire watchers out there. So anyway, we've got a special edition of Crosstalk this week. Last week, the Crosstalk crew was in Frankfurt, Germany, covering the MusikMesse show and filming the release of new products. We're taking a quick look at a few of the videos Kyle and the crew shot, so be sure to stick around and watch. And by the way, Kyle's the man behind the camera that y'all can't see right now.
Hi, Kyle.
Anyway.
How are you?
Also, we'll check back to episode number 29 and complete our brass sample test, where we shot out brass samples from 3 hardware samplers and 3 software sample sets. Before we get started, a quick reminder, as always, if you want to get a hold of us, send us an email at crosstalk@gearwire.com. Also, be sure to visit the Gearwire forums at forums.gearwire.com. Get involved, speak your piece. We absolutely love hearing from you.
Send us an email.
I just got.
Just do it.
I just went over the 1,000 post mark.
Did you?
Just this past week on the forum.
Congratulations.
I'm the only one.
What is your forum status now? Did you get bumped up to something else?
I'm admin. I've been admin.
Okay.
I delete all your stupid posts and all that stuff.
So that's why my posts are always deleted.
Yeah.
Damn. At least I know who's doing it now. All right, back in episode 29, we did a brass sample listening test between 3 hardware samplers and 3 software samplers. We didn't reveal which was each last week, so we're going to do that this week.
Yeah.
Let's check them out.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been dying of curiosity. Many sleepless nights.
I know, honestly.
It's been rough.
We had some votes come in on our
I
forum.
haven't been eating.
Well,
Maybe that'll help you fit those shirts a little better.
Maybe.
well, you could start gaining weight this weekend from what you've lost.
Excellent.
But we had a few votes. Let's see, 13 votes. 2 more votes than last time.
Nice.
Pretty
nice.
good. So let's listen to these. Here's the first one, and this one got the most votes. It got 8 votes on the forum. And surprisingly enough, that was the Muse, the Soundbox Muse.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So it actually did really well. So the brass sample's actually doing a lot better than the string samples did from the Muse. Let's move on. Number 2. This one got 0 votes.
But it sounds so real.
All right, that was the Motif.
Okay.
0 votes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying, I've seen places that the Motifs, the pads are the things that it just doesn't do that well.
Okay. The keyboard I have, the EX5, the predecessor to the Motif, has a trumpet patch on it. It sounds amazing. It sounds really, really good.
Is it like a trumpet ensemble or just?
No, it's monophonic too.
Yeah, I have the MU100R on here. I find that the solo instruments are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the patches, the pads on the Motif just really don't do it. All right, here is the next one. Had 2 votes. And that was EWSQL.
Okay.
East-West.
Gotcha.
You can kind of tell because it has more of that stereo stuff going on.
Right.
The panning. Here's number 4. Also 0 votes on this one. This is our favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't vote for it, though.
Was that the Super Nintendo?
That was the good old MU100R.
Classic.
Also, a Yamaha synth that the pads are just not not amazingly there. Here's number 5. And this was this had 3 votes. I think this was the one you said you liked. Can't really remember.
I don't remember either.
But that was KVSL.
Okay.
That KVSL had the most votes in our last one, but it came in second on this one.
Gotcha.
But it was a distant second. All right. Here's
What's
our
the
last
what's
one.
the K stand for? Contact?
Yeah,
Okay.
Contact 2.
Okay. Then VSL, Vienna Symphonic.
Vienna Symphonic Library.
Yeah.
And this is our XV5050. Also not very believable.
No.
So I was pretty surprised actually that the Muse sounded as good as it did. Let's listen one more time to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
It just had an amount of realism to it that the others didn't, and this was straight MIDI in. I wasn't doing much at all.
All the dynamics for all the different MIDI is exactly the same, right? Sounds like the samples on the Muse are just like lower dynamic, perhaps, like the actual sample itself.
Yeah, there's just some sort of again, I'm using the word again, realism to it. Just it sounded like people were actually playing the instruments. One of the things I think may attribute to that is that when you load in a patch in Muse in the Giga Virtual instrument, it loads in sections, and when you load in the brass ensemble, large brass ensemble, you get trumpet ensemble, trumpet soloist, trombone ensemble, trombone soloist, so on and so on. And I think that sort of had something to do with how real it ended up sounding.
Nice.
Sure.
All right.
Interesting.
Cool.
Maybe should we move on?
Yeah, and by the way, Dan is still available for composition for Japanese role-playing games.
RPGs, yeah. Pretty much that's it.
You can send us an email at Dan for Japanese RPGs at crosstalk at gearwire.com.
There's 2 ats in there.
The number 4. Anyway.
2 ats.
Yes.
Very valid email
It's
address.
a double email.
Our own Kyle will put that email up on the screen.
Right?
Make sure to put like 3 exclamation points after. Right.
Make it flash if you would.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, last week, the Crosstalk crew was in Frankfurt, Germany for the MusikMesse show, and we've got some video to take a look at, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
What do we got first, Dan?
Let's see. First of all, I'd like to take a look at the Arturia Origin. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. This is a modular environment for the Arturia, like the components of all of the different virtual instruments that Arturia has gotten. So not only can you load in like your patches from, like, say, your Prophet V that you have.
Yeah.
You could take the oscillator from your Prophet V, or the
That's
filter
sweet.
from your
That's
Prophet V,
sweet.
and mix it with an oscillator or a filter from the Moog modular and stuff
Okay.
like that.
That's cool.
So let's
Nice.
take a look at the video.
I'm Joe Wallace for Gearwire.com on the floor of MusikMesse in Frankfurt, Germany. I'm here with Krista Young from Arturia, and we're looking at the Origin synth.
Yep, the Origin synth.
Tell me a little bit about it.
It's making its debut here at the NAMM. As you can see, it's a synthesized version of the Origin, and it offers the same specifications, adding a ribbon controller and a keyboard.
Now, what inspired the ribbon control?
Well, the ribbon controller is obviously used to control several parameters. You can design it and set it as you like.
Now, this is the hardware version of the Origin.
Yes, the Origin is a hardware product, in fact. We have the Origin desktop, and this is the keyboard version. It is driven by 2 Sharp processors inside, so it's DSP based, and it is a modular analog modeling synth.
Now, when is this going to be available?
This one is going to be available in December, and the Origin desktop is going to be available in September.
Now, tell me a little bit about the Origin desktop.
Well, I can do it the best by browsing you to the interface, probably. That makes it very clear. We have a modular setup. As you can see here, there are slots that are free to add modules in. When I push add, there is a list that appears, and you can choose a module that you want to add. For instance, an oscillator or a filter. Another menu appears, and you can choose from different types. We included the ARP, the Mini Moog, Moog Modular, the CS80, and in this case also a new Origin filter. So you choose one of the presets or of the modules and you add them and you connect them to another one. So you add, for instance, an oscillator of the Mini Moog or CS80, and there you go. So you can connect, freely route all the modules and as many as you want in these slots. Makes it totally modular and very creative in the sound design process, what you want.
We're talking about the Origin synthesizer. I'm Joe Wallace on the floor of MusikMesse in Frankfurt, Germany for Gearwire.com.
All right.
That guy talks funny.
Yeah.
His
I
English is...
I wonder where he went to school.
Yeah, I know.
You know those Germans, if you don't join the party, they'll come get you.
Oh, he's German? Thought he was like from Montana or something, just talk funny.
Anyway, I really, really, really like the idea of Arturia having a modular environment, like a truly modular environment. The problem I have with this is that you have this huge piece of hardware. It's huge if you get the synth version, the keyboard version, but it's still pretty big if you get the desktop version.
Right.
I would have liked to seen the option, kind of like what we saw with Core. I'd like to see, just a pure software version that you can run as a VST.
Right.
It's just, it's cool that you get all those knobs and things like that. But being able to use the pieces of the Arturia puzzle, I think would be really awesome. It is really awesome. I kind of want an Origin for that fact, but I'm probably not going to spend the money because getting that hardware is going to be. I don't have a place for that hardware either.
Right.
I want to run everything. If I'm running virtual synths, I want them in the box pretty much.
And you don't need any more knobs, Dan.
No, I don't even use knobs, man.
Yeah.
I use a mouse. Well, for the hardware, for like preamps and stuff, I love knobs and compressors. But
I like knobs.
I don't know. I've gotten used to virtual synths.
Yeah.
I gobble up the knobs, man.
Oh God. Innuendo.
Oh man. So no, I like the idea. To be able to take one thing from one place. Combine things. That sort of idea. I love that idea to be able to combine things and make it a lot simpler to create new sounds and stuff like that. But I agree. As far as hardware goes, that's a lot of hardware for that one thing. I would like to see a VST version of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'd also like to see the interface a little better, just to kind of understand how they allowed you to pick and choose.
Yeah, this was a prototype version. I don't think they were ready to give like a full demonstration there.
Okay.
At the Messe, but
so I'm wondering if it's going to be like a visual representation, almost like old Reactor, where you kind of create different synth elements and chain them together.
Really cool.
Arturia has always been known for having great GUIs. So
yeah.
I'm guessing it probably is going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole idea behind Arturia has always been taking these old classic synths and making pretty faithful recreations of them, and sort of giving you like a tool bench to take these different parts and put them together. I think is a great idea. I think maybe the misstep was how they're presenting it.
Okay. I also think that a lot of these software manufacturers creating hardware, just like what Arturia is doing, is almost. It's a good business decision solely for copy protection.
Yeah, it's a dongle.
It's essentially a dongle
or a knob.
Yeah, blink twice if you're using cracked Arturia stuff at home.
I'm not.
Okay, good. Yeah, neither am I.
I was lucky enough to get look at Drew. Well, actually, Arturia was nice enough to send me a copy of the Mini Moog V, which we have on here.
Nice.
And it's great. It's a great synth.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, let's check out another video. See what else we've got.
All right. Now this next one, Duisenberg, is that the right? Okay. I'm just checking with Rob. This is probably the coolest thing I've seen come back, because I didn't go to Frankfurt, and the other guys went to Frankfurt.
Okay.
And when they came back, this is probably the coolest thing that I saw that was out there. This is a pedal steel guitar that has no pedals. Here, just watch it. You'll see.
Interesting.
Say what?
Hey everybody, welcome to the floor of MusikMesse 2007. I'm Rob Wormowski and we're here in the Duesenberg booth. And I'm speaking with Martin, the player for Duesenberg, and also Martin, I'm sorry, what was your last name, Martin?
Hutch, Martin Hutch.
Martin helped design the Duesenberg Double Cat's pedal system. And we just heard, we had a chance to hear him play, and it sounds like an amazing slide guitar. Tell us a little bit about how you got a slide guitar sound out of a string or normal electric guitar.
Yeah, it's very simple with this system to get, for instance, this guitar is now tuned to E major. If you engage both pedals to come to an A major. And that means it's the same as the two main pedals of the pedal steel guitar.
And the mechanism there, this is a rocker mechanism?
Yes. It's developed by Duesenberg guitars.
Very nice. And so you go from E major to A major, and is that G maybe or no?
You know, you can get even minor chords on a major tuning. I'm going to show it, yeah?
Yeah, let's take a look. Real nice stuff. Thank you.
Sounds. And it's quite simple to learn compared to a pedal steel. You need a very expensive instrument and 10 years of practice. And this is to be checked in 2 weeks. It's very simple.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
So this is the three sort of pedal, hand pedal version that goes up to 5 pedal, and this is called the multi-bender, the Duesenberg multi-bender, I believe it's called. And yeah, basically you can retrofit your guitar with it and basically turn it into a pedal steel. Which
So
I think
they
is
sell the
pretty
system
awesome.
itself and not just
They
the
will
guitar?
be. They will
Okay.
be. This is a newer thing, a newer invention.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool.
It's a big step from what technology was around prior to, which is just like drop D, types of bridges, things like that. That'll like the
and
Parker flies they used to
And I mean,
drop them in
pedal
D.
steels are extremely expensive as well. And this thing, can't say for sure just yet, but it's probably going to be under $300.
Wow.
And
Nice.
I'll buy one.
I believe this version fits to a Telecaster perfectly easy.
Really?
If you have a Telecaster
I
Briz
do.
on any guitar. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about picking one up. I may have to get another guitar before I do that because I'm using all my guitars for certain things. But I think this is definitely really cool, and especially if you're just a guy who does music who has to do a lot of different types of music, like say if you're doing scoring or things like that, having the sound of a pedal steel in your studio that you can play without having to learn a semi-new instrument.
Right.
I
New
think
guitar
is
tuning,
really
essentially.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
basically all you have to commit to.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely. So shall we move on?
I think that the only other thing that I saw that I thought was amazing, which you guys just informed me was fake, was that new Moog Mogerfoger.
yeah. the FM mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could totally tell, man, from the picture.
No,
on
I looked
the
at it and I
website.
thought, wow, this looks legit. And I looked at it and I was just like,
released on April 1st.
oh, well.
April Fools.
Mo gotcha.
Still, I was pretty pissed. That sounds like an awesome idea, though, if it's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
certain places were kind of putting it out there as actual news, like as
Okay.
actual press releases. I could,
And which certain
I
places
saw it,
were those?
So I don't know if I'm at liberty to say.
Okay.
How could I say that?
How
could we say something like that?
I don't know. Holy crap. Anyway. Oh, man. I'm laughing so much I'm getting a head cold. Let's move on to the next
right.
It's
video.
a good call.
IK Multimedia, this is like a Jimi Hendrix suite of guitar effects and amps.
Amplitude 2 Jimi Hendrix Edition is powered by Amplitude 2, which is a complete guitar amp and effects rig, and one of the leading plugins for this, and has spawned several different plugins that are powered by that technology. One of them is Ampeg SVX for bass, and now we have Amplitude 2 Jimi Hendrix Edition. And what it is essentially is an incredible vintage collection of gear. We modeled the rig of Jimi Hendrix and did this in cooperation with the Hendrix Foundation, and went to great lengths to bring the incredibly desirable and collectible elements of his rig, which happen to include Marshall amps. If you take a look over here, I'll tell you about some of the gear that's inside. You have Marshall amps, and then, models of Marshall, Fender, Brown Face, Silver. So you have a variety of different amps that Jimmy used. And then the stomp section, there's an incredible range of really desirable effects. The model of a fuzz face, the Mossrite Fuzzrite, a model of a Maestro Fuzz Tone, which some of you may know is also the sound that the Rolling Stones used for Satisfaction. This is a model of a Univibe. This pedal is $1,800 in the store. I kind of wanted one, and I can't afford that, but Jimi Hendrix, the model of the Vox Wah. And these are all really, it's the best way to look at this plugin really is a collection. It's both the way to get the Jimi Hendrix sound as well as any sound using these effects and amplifiers. So anyway, here we have a demonstration if you want to hear it.
See, I don't know if I like it so much. For some reason, the guitar sounds all like distorted. It's weird.
This is the best you're gonna best sounds you're going to find as far as distortion, I think, on a computer.
You know, one of my favorite guitarists, as with probably most guitarists, is Jimi Hendrix.
Of course.
And there's a great way to get some of those tones. I mean, not necessarily if you want to emulate, but you can use the same tools, or just like emulations of the same tools, which isn't perfect. But I think this is kind of a cool product. Even though, you know, I prefer miking up an amplifier. Not everyone can do that.
I mean, considering the fact that it's all being done inside of a computer with zeros and ones and digital this and all that, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it doesn't compare to a full Marshall half stack that's cranked, you know, with all those pedals.
Or three, as
you know.
as Jimi Hendrix used to use.
Well, sure, you know, and but I mean, for a basically a plug-in that you can just pull up and mess around with to get those sounds, or experiment with those sounds, it's pretty good.
Yeah, out of all of the VST or you know whatever plug-in amp simulators, I believe IK Multimedia's Amplitube is one I would probably use in front of probably all of them.
I agree, and distortion is one of those things when you're using like VST distortions and stuff like that. A lot of them, basically any distortion on a computer, it just doesn't sound the same. But with the guitar rig and all that, I mean, it's really good. And beyond guitars too, basses, keyboards, anything, drums that you want to distort, you can run through there, and it actually sounds pretty cool. So,
yeah. And did I say amplitude before? I think I did.
Yeah.
Cut that out. All right.
All right, boys and girls, we're back from a quick break, and we're going to move on to another video.
Yeah, this one is the Jazzmutant Dexter.
Let's scope it, homie.
Multi-touch thing.
Ooh, touch.
Basically, here is the mixer overview. Pretty classic. The idea is to have, of course, 8 tracks at once, and to access other tracks with bank to the other banks directly. So I push this button and I drag my finger and just access to the different tracks. So if I want to work on the guitar, I just do this, and here's the guitar, okay? So of course you can solo tracks. You can go deeper in one particular track. So if you want, for instance, work on the snare, which is this track, click just on the EK, and here you access to a channel overview. So the EQ, the FX, and the surround panel, and of course the level and the sense to buses, etc. So you can go also deeper in each different parameter. I mean, here you can access the EQ, okay? So you just draw the EQ curve with your fingers, which is a really smart way to work. And you can go on a bigger view of it if you want more precision and more comfortable display. So, as you can see on the software, we really have the first ever graphical EQ you can use with your finger. And because we use our unique multi-touch sensor technology on it, you can move several parameters at once. Okay, another great thing is that you can access directly another track without go back to the mixer and to go back to the other track. Here you have the name of the other track. So let's go to the kick. Just click it, and on the display you show the EQ curve. Okay, and of course with this you can also access all the tracks directly and edit a new curve like that. So that's really the fastest way to work with DAW systems. Let's go back to the channel edit. Here is the FX control. So on this track, on the snare track, we have a compressor, and you have a 2-dimensional controller to edit parameters. But you can also go to a large view for the plugins, and here you have the list of the different plugins
you have on this track. And because plugins sometimes have so much parameters on one plugin, you can hear just with dragging your finger on the screen, you can just access all the parameters. And of course, you can go back to another track directly without going on this so nightmare navigation buttons.
Wow, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
I
like that.
agree.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the lemur?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I got hip to that about a year ago, and I was just really excited to see something like that coming out of the market. And I'm actually really excited that they took it a step further. I for one, I don't really like using a mouse. I use a mouse as little as possible, but for a lot of stuff, you're still forced to use a mouse. But to have one of these Dexters just like right next to your mouse pad, literally, like kind of lower in your studio, right by you, would be kind of a sweet tool to kind of fly through some stuff.
Yeah, I love the idea. It's great because it's going to help people out, help people do creative things, and I also agree. Having a little something off to the side kind of helps. I have that Frontier Designs transport. That's kind of the thing I keep off to the side because I can do one button undo if I want on that.
Right.
I don't really mind using a mouse for it. I do like this product. It's not for me really, but one thing I did want to say, as in the interview, he actually kind of explains how the lemur is more for like live type stuff, DJ applications. This is definitely for in studio for the DAW, and I think that's kind of cool that they focused on that.
Yeah.
If it works well with the various softwares that they say it works well with, I'm probably gonna buy one.
Yeah, they were showing Cubase.
Depending on how much it is, but I'm very interested in it mainly just for speed. Like I actually mix through like a summing bus mixer. So, but a lot of the effects and EQ and everything is still inside the computer.
Yeah.
So this would be just another way to make it quicker for me.
Which summer do you use?
We got like a kind of a home built summing
that's
bus.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Who built it?
This guy we know.
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
tell you after the podcast.
Right on.
Nice.
I'm actually in the market.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, we might be able to hook it up.
Sweet.
Look at that. Deals happening on Gearwire Crosstalk.
Ebb and flow, moving back
Right.
and forth, give and take.
I'll
Everyone loves
negotiate
that.
if you guys want.
I just like to be able to touch a touch screen, 4 different places.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's
That's
really
sweet.
what
That's
it's all
exciting.
about.
Yeah, you can put all 5 fingers down if you want.
Yeah,
And
that's
just kind of
cool.
turn around.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Do we have any other videos to check out today?
Nope. we
Okay.
don't.
Well, we'll have plenty more on the Gearwire homepage, so be sure to check back frequently. We got plenty of videos still we've got to go through and edit.
Well, there's
And,
tons up already.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Check out what's already there, and you'll see a lot more coming.
Yeah. One thing definitely to check out, the Nord Wave. You guys heard about that one?
No.
It's basically a new Nord lead. What they've added is you're able to import samples as an oscillator. So you can put
Nice.
samples through, the Nord lead stuff. You can modulate other oscillators with the samples. You also can use wavetables. It's very cool. There's
pretty
also
cool.
Core 2 video. Arturia also had the Jupiter 8V. So definitely keep an eye on the MusikMesse stuff. A lot of cool new products come out. And also a lot of things that you wouldn't see, stateside, because a lot of cool stuff comes out in Europe.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. That concludes the Gearwire Crosstalk show for number 30.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a lot. Got
Yeah,
number
we're-
31 next week. It's going to be a fun one next week. We're actually going to do a little bit of reminiscing, watching some of your favorite things that have happened in the past on Crosstalk.
What about the pre-video crosstalks?
We got a plan for that. Special
Nice.
plan.
Nice.
So don't worry about that.
Does it
When
involve a
did we
paper
start
plate?
with video? Was it number 13?
What was that?
Was it number 13?
Yeah,
when we started
number
with video?
13 was the first
Okay.
video.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we will see you sometime soon.
Peace.